Hello guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to code the modules in your Mini Cooper or Cooper S, R50, R53. This will work for BMW cars as well. The two main tools or bits of software you need are NCS Expert and NCS Dummy. One key thing with coding is to learn your German, so I'll get to this later on in the video, but if you write this down it's really handy if you haven't, or if you've forgotten in a while like I do. So SG Codieren means write and Coder Data Lesson means read. Okay, let's jump straight into it. Make sure the ignition is on, in the on position. Okay, so let's load NCS Expert. We now need to load a profile, so file, load profile. The expert and modus often works for me. I've heard the Revters profile is pretty good too, but I'm going to choose this, so load profile. Okay, now what you want to do is press F1 and then F3. This will bring up a menu, so you need to select what model car you have. For me it's the R50. The R50 would work for the R53 as well, so click OK. Choose ECU, EWS, OK. Right, now I need to go back, and these are the modules you can code. Okay, for this one I want to code the BC one. The job name is SG Codieren. So if we go back here, SG Codieren means write. We don't want that. We want to go read. So we need to change the job to Coder Data Lesson, which is read. So we choose the ECU we want to read. So process ECU. I want to choose the body control unit. So click OK. Click OK. Now we want to change this job. We don't want to write. We want to read. Make sure it's quite important to do this. So we want to change the job from Codieren to Coder Data Lesson, which is read. OK. Now execute job F3. This will be quite quick. There we go. It's done. Coded ended. Right. So with NCS Expert, there's always a working folder. So in your working folder, open this. Your trace file, the FSW PSW trace is the file or the information you just pulled from that module. So for the Germans out there, it's very easy for them. They can just open that in Notepad and you'll have a list of code where you can like enable and not enable. However, it will all be in German. So this is where NCS Dummy comes into play. Okay, so now we've pulled that information, we want to load up NCS Dummy. In the meantime, you can turn the ignition off if you want to, so you've got more time to really look into it and dissect it. So let's do it. Just turn it off. So we've already read it. Anyway, NCS Dummy is a tool where you can then load in the information you've pulled. Okay, so now we choose the module we want to read the information. So choose BC1. There's certain variations or certain I'd say updates or lines of code. So CO1 to CO7. I found for me, as I have a facelift car, 2006, the CO6 and CO7 works for me. However, if you have a 2003 car, 2002 non-facelift with maybe less features or earlier features, the earlier revisions will work. So for me, I'm just going to click CO7. Okay, this is the module I want to read, and we want to press browse. We want to load in now our trace file that we've just pulled from the module from our car. So load that into NCS Dummy, and here you have basically a tick function of all the lines of code that you would want to enable or disable. This function I want to change because I've actually turned off the indicators when you lock the car. So I thought I'd be kind of stealthy, but it's actually quite irritating because I don't know, when I walk away I don't know if I've locked it or not. It'd be nice to have that indicator back on. So I'm just going to try and go through this and find which one it is. Here we go, this is a line of code for me that I want to change, which is visual unlocking and not acknowledgement, which was not active, but I've changed it back to active. What's also cool is that it has an acoustic locking acknowledgement signal alarm beep. I could try that. Let's try that. Might be quite funny. Let's enable that. So now, when you have enabled or disabled the functions you like, you want to then export this trace file back into a main psw.man file. So here we go, let's export that. So that's complete. So let's go back into our work folder. See, now the man folder or the man file has got data in it. Okay, so then we want to go back, turn the ignition back on. You don't have to turn it off, but I just like to save some battery. Okay, so now it's code data lesson, which is read. You want to change the job now back to SG Coderen. Okay, press OK. Now this will execute the job when you press execute job and push that information back onto the module, that line of code. So let's execute job. This will take a bit longer when you're actually writing the code than reading. Reading is very quick. There we go. Coding ended. Perfect. What we want to do now is press back. We want to close this. Okay. And now go back to your NCS dummy and close this. And then it says, basically, do you want to empty out the man file, which is recommended, just in case you accidentally write, you know, instead of read. So this is always a good thing to do. Empty the file, press OK. So now in your work folder, you can see that the main file is empty. So just in case that, you know, you've accidentally clicked SG Coderen, which is white, you actually won't be writing anything, so it won't actually execute the job. So there we go. So the coolest feature to enable is having the power windows open and close through the key. I think, yeah, on a standard Cooper or Cooper S, you can open the windows with the key by unlocking and holding down the button. But when you hold down the lock button, it doesn't go up. So I don't know why they didn't do that from factory, because I think that's a really cool feature. So I'm going to show you how to enable that right now. Okay, I found the line of code, which is comfort closing with remote control, power windows, sunroof or convertible top. This comes not enabled. You want to then enable it, active, and then do the same thing I showed you last time, which then export this trace file back into a man, and then push that, load that up back into the ECU module for the body control module, and you're set to go. So let's see if it works. So this one works. Oh yeah. Now let's close this. So you're going to press it and hold it. Nice. You know, it does depend on what model of car you've got, the amount of code you can change. So say for instance this car is just a Cooper with a single clock, you know, it hasn't got sat nav, it's got the single dial, speed dial, it's got an onboard computer, it hasn't got the climate control, it hasn't got like heated seats and stuff, you know, electric mirrors. These functions, if you had enabled them, will not basically work. So say for instance you have a car but you want the onboard computer function, you'd literally just buy the stalk, and then you would I'll show you here quickly. You would want to pull the information from the K and B module, and as you can see here, it's basically an on-off function, so it had been turned off for a car without onboard computer. But then if you've got the stalk, you can enable it, recode the car, and now you can use that function where you can read, you know, the average consumption, the instant consumption, the speed, the temperature. Anyway, thanks guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, leave a comment in the comment section, I can get back to you. You know, like and subscribe. This would not only works on the Mini, it also works on BMW cars as well. You know, follow me on Instagram as JCW James. I've got this Cooper that I really want to tune with, so my plans are, I've got a spare Link ECU that I want to chuck in here, throw in a base map, you know, I've got the bung welded in by 1320 Mini. I'm gonna get an AEM wideband, 3D print a gauge there, and then just have fun, tune it in VE mode. Also, this tool is really good because it's got IMPA where you can log the ignition path, which I think would be really handy for me to just get a grips with where the ignition wants to be, say at wide open throttle or cruising. So it will give me that ability to then, you know, see where the stock ignition map is. But if you guys could help me find a Cooper base ignition map file, it would be really helpful, so then I could interpolate that into the Link ECU. So maybe the next video could be showing you, or showing my process of how to tune the Link ECU, or going through features in the Link ECU. I think that'd be a really cool project, really something I want to focus on for this car, and maybe even get a little cat cam in it. It would be a wicked little NA street car. I can't wait, it'd be really good. But thanks guys, thanks for watching, see you later.